Welcome back to Theoretical Nonsense. Today we're going to be discussing the Rhinitis Revelation, and we're discussing tips for the best fried chicken ever, beets, emotional intelligence versus IQ, and do Hindu gods have abs? Stay tuned. Welcome to Theoretical Nonsense, the Big Bang Theory watch-along podcast. No PhD required.
We're the podcast that recaps all the episodes of The Big Bang Theory. No spoilers.
So hop into your favorite spot,
Make yourself a grasshopper,
and enjoy the ride. Hello there, Ryan.
Hey, Rob, how's it going?
I'm doing amazing because we just watched the Rhinitis Revelation.
Rhinitis Revelation.
I was so worried about pronouncing Rhinitis, I mispronounced Revelation.
You almost had it, though.
The Rhinitis Revelation. I like this episode. I love seeing Mary Cooper.
I love her. Absolutely adore her. She is completely racist, but she tries. I don't agree with her.
Okay, she's not racist. She's just a little ignorant.
She's a little ignorant, and she's trying to figure it out.
She's trying. She's very open.
But I love her. I love her relationships and with the gang. I love her motherhood, I guess, raising Sheldon. It's a joy to see her. I like seeing Will Wheaton in the last episode, but I think I like Mary more. So
I just love seeing the parallels of her and Sheldon, and you could really just see the influence that she had on him. And he tries to fight it, but it's just so ingrained in him, and it's all just good motherhood, you know?
Yeah. And I have to say, like, I was kind of on the fence, like, I think this is kind of a little bit of a filler episode, but it was a good filler because we get like some characterization, a little bit more prolonging the relationship with Priya. So it's like, if they in one episode they were together, and the next episode they're fighting, like it'd be rushed. But this is kind of stretching it out, like they're together, but you're seeing kind of the tension and the building of the obstacles that they are facing in their long distance relationship. And so we need something like this for it to really work out and play on that relationship, not to mention Penny and her trying to be single and figure out who she is in life. Like if she just turned around too and said, you know what, I'm in love with Leonard, like that wouldn't work either. We need some build up to for her to realize who she is as a person and us see her evolve as well. So I thought it was great. I think that there was some introspective, I don't know, they looked in on themselves a little bit. Introspection, there we go. That worked really well, where most of this was filler and kind of waiting for our bigger things to happen, but they did it funny. We saw some slight character development, some explanations, development, and just funny stuff that was very heartfelt that I loved.
Yeah. And there's going to be a lot of food talk. Yep.
Actually, I don't think I had much food talk, but I do have... Man, I could have used the bacon grease one. That was good. We'll get to that, but I have one that I want to bring up. It's not even an IQ point. It like led me down a rabbit hole to the point where I'm just like, fuck this. I'm going to give this as a extra credit to my college students and see what they come up with. So I'm excited to talk about that.
Oh, put your kids to work.
Exactly.
work for you.
Me. It's all for the podcast.
Yep. You want an A, don't you?
You want an A?
Yeah. All right, well, a little bit of housekeeping before we dive in. We have an email at theoreticalnonsensepod@gmail.com. Shoot us an email and we'll read it live. Well, read it out loud, not live. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and give us 5 stars and we'll give you a shout out. We're also on YouTube at Theoretical Nonsense. That's it. I always keep forgetting. It's just at Theoretical Nonsense. Like and subscribe. And we also want to give a little bit of information on our 100 episode extravaganza. Ryan and I finally did some chatting and we know what we're going to do. We'll be giving out a $50 gift card to a raffle winner. So the raffle is with you guys. So we are going to be saying a code word every episode until the 100th episode. So you're going to have multiple chances to sign up for this raffle. So if you do it each time, you could sign up multiple times, up to 3 times, basically, up to 3 entrances into this raffle. So we're going to give a code word today on episode 506, this one, and then there's 507 and 508. So there's 3 code words. So if you email us those code words at theoreticalnonsensepod@gmail.com, you will be entered in to win that gift card. And we will be making the announcement on our 100th episode. The deadline for all entrances is going to be February 18th. So that's going to be the deadline, as we will be announcing the winner on our 100th episode, which is going to be launching on February 22nd. So you got plenty of time from the launch of this episode until then. There's 6 weeks. So no excuses. Re-listen to the episode if you have to. Don't forget to download it, because we like those downloads. And you will be entered in to win a raffle.
Do we know what the keyword is?
That's what we're going to talk about. So I was thinking, like, we could just have some fun with this. So we're going to have, like, so I'll come up with a code word, this one, and we'll just kind of say it in the middle of the episode to force you all to listen. And next episode, you can come up with a code word, and then the third episode, you and I can just make up something. How about that?
Okie dokie.
How does that sound? But you got to email us the code word, and then you will be entered in. Again, our email is theoreticalnonsensepod@gmail.com.
3 episodes, 3 different code words, up to 3 emails per enter.
3 entrances.
3 entrances per person. Same email. Same email, 3 entrances per person with
Correct.
3 different code words. Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys enjoy this 100th episode, 100 extravaganza. We've been podcasting for a while, so we have our 100th episode coming up. Did I miss anything?
I think that's it.
Yep. So we will be announcing that code word in the middle of the episode. So I should actually go through my notes and actually mark when I'm going to announce it, just so I don't forget. Get through the whole episode, and all of a sudden it's like, uh-oh.
Oh, shit, we forgot it. You just, like, splice the word in the middle.
It won't be Bazinga. All right. Anything else that we need to talk about before we dive in?
I think that's all. That's all on my part.
All right. Where do you... Oh, actually, what kind of gift card? I guess, you know what? We'll say... Yeah, we'll just go Amazon.
Yeah.
They've already taken over the world, so why not?
Yeah, you're just their drones now, so...
All right, it'll be an Amazon gift card.
I, for one, welcome our Amazon rulers.
All hail the Amazon ruler.
All hail Amazon.
All right, so let's dive in. We are in season 5, episode 6, the right. God damn it!
That's a hard word.
In my head.
Rhinitis.
The Rhinitis Revelation aired October 20th, 2011. Written by Bill Prady, Stephen Malaro, and Jim Reynolds. Directed by Howard Murray. Someone different.
Someone new. Did a good job.
Yeah. Well, we have our opening scene. We are at the apartment, and Mrs. Cooper is already there. And she's there because she is going on a cruise, the Born Again boat ride. She says that Christian Quarterly gave it their highest rating, 5 thorny crowns. Which I thought, I don't know why they would use thorny crowns as the rating system for good, because aren't thorny crowns bad?
So Jesus was given his thorny crown, and they said, here is your prince, or prince of God, or whatever, and it was a form of, like, punishing him, and so that's why on crucifixes he has it, but in touching his blood and becoming part of the stigmata, it has become a holy relic, I guess. That's my understanding, but it's been a while since I've...
Kind of shows everyone how unreligious I am.
Different life from Ryan. I am I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, I just thought that. I just flagged that. I was like, oh, that's kind of strange, but okay. If it's a holy thing, then it's a holy thing.
It's a holy thing. There you go.
Well, the cruise is a themed cruise and it's very over the top. It has Jonah and the whale watching, an all you can eat last supper buffet, and her personal favorite, which might be my personal favorite, is gunning with God. And it sounds awesome. You write your sins on a clay pigeon, you fire them up in the air, and you pulverize them with a 12 gauge shotgun full of our Lord's forgiveness. I'd do that over and over again.
I might still be at the Last Supper buffet. That sounds interesting, but I would probably be out with the guns too at one point or another,
Yeah.
just to see and get some frustration out and my sins gone, blown away.
It might be more frustrating if you miss.
Yeah, right? No, my
No,
sins!
sin! Ah! Well, Sheldon has an itinerary for his weekend with his mom, and it starts with fried chicken. Fried chicken, the reason why they had to buy his dad the extra large coffin. So they didn't really kind of talk about this, but I'm going to make it into an IQ point because I will do everything I can to turn this into a food cast. So he mentions that his mom makes the best fried chicken. So I thought that we could just share tips for the best fried chicken. Granted, it's subjective, but it's really not.
There's some things, and we've talked a little bit about a couple. So
So we're just going to give some tips on how you can make the best fried chicken at home. And that is going to be our code word, fried chicken.
that's 2 words. Hyphenate it.
You know what? Fuck you, Ryan. Fuck you. Single code word is fried chicken.
Fried chicken.
So email us at theoreticalnonsensepod@gmail.com. The code word fried chicken, and you will be entered in for our raffle. $50 Amazon gift card. Email us. Stop what you're doing. Pull over. Email us.
Fried chicken.
Fried chicken. And now we're going to talk best tips for the best fried chicken. So there's a lot of different tips out there, but I'm gonna bring this down to my top 4, the ones that I use and the ones that are most notable to me that I make really good fried chicken. And it starts with the marinade or a brine. So definitely always brine it or marinate it in somehow. And when I say marinate it, it could be in some sort of sauce or some sort of like sugary thing or whatever, or it could just be buttermilk. And that's a really good one. Just buttermilk with maybe a dab of hot sauce. Or if you want to brine it, a little salt, a little sugar, and water. Just do something. That's it'll make a huge difference.
And we've been talking about Thanksgiving turkeys, and I tell you, brining my turkey has changed the way I've seen turkeys. I like people have said like, oh, turkeys come like pre-brine with the mixture and injected, blah blah blah. It might, but I tell you, since I've started brining, I've loved turkey like 1,000 times more. So it makes a difference to brine
Do
your
it
chicken.
anyways. Even if it comes brined, do it again anyways, because
Do
you
it
don't
again.
know how much of you don't know how long it's been sitting out, and it's gonna leach out the waters as it just sits there and as you're thawing it out. So always, if it's, I know we're talking fried chicken, but if you're doing a turkey, definitely rebrine it.
And I've done like extreme amounts of salt for like 2 days, 40. You're supposed to do like half a day to a day max. I've done like salt with 48 hours, and it does make it a little mushy, but like it wasn't super problematic. Like it takes a lot of time, and I could have pulled it out before then. Everybody's like, oh, isn't going to make it too salty, isn't going to make it too mushy. Like you have to really mess it up to make that happen.
Yeah, definitely. And here's a little hot tip too. Not everybody always has buttermilk on hand. I never do. I never get it. But I always have milk and I always have lemons. You can make a version of buttermilk with milk and lemons. So it's about maybe a cup or two of milk per like a teaspoon of lemon juice. So you just pour the milk in a bowl and then add like a teaspoon or two into it, stir it around, let it sit for 15 minutes. You'll actually notice it thickens up a little bit. There's buttermilk.
It works with soy milk too. I use that for fried pickles because Kelsey can't have regular milk and she can't have chicken. So I do pickles with soy milk and some lemon juice, and it makes it thicken up a little bit.
Nice.
Kernels.
Tip number 2, fry in lard. God bless Mary Cooper. She does everything in lard or some sort of neutral oil, but lard definitely. Yep. Number 3, breading is a pretty personal choice, but there is a time and place for all types. You got your light and flaky, your thick and crunchy, or somewhat soggy, like what you get out of like your prepared food section at the grocery store. But it's good. There's a time and place for any of them. So you could either single dip or double dip, but my tip for crispy fried chicken is to add some sort of starch. Cornstarch or something like that, but my personal favorite is potato starch. So whatever your normal batter is, just do like almost equal parts of flour to potato starch. And
So
that's going to make it so much crunchier.
we've talked about this before that I use cornstarch. I don't think I've tried potato starch, but I definitely can. That I didn't realize how much crunchier cornstarch makes stuff. But in a lot of Asian dishes I've been making with tofu, they recommend like don't even batter in flour, just do a batter of cornstarch. And when you fry up the tofu, it gives that crispy shell and freaking amazing. I had no idea cornstarch or starch would do that, but I can see it adding to the fried chicken too.
Yep. Always add a starch, but I find that potato starch lasts a little longer, like because when you do cornstarch, it'll be really crunchy and crispy for like the first like 10 or 15 minutes, and
Mm-hmm.
then it'll start getting a little softer. But the
Mm.
potato starch seems to last a little bit longer. And then fourth tip is don't overcook it. At least the white meat. I would recommend taking it out around the 145 range because it's in such hot oil that the temperature will always rise in a resting period. So take it out around 145, let it rest for like 15 minutes because it's going to be boiling hot anyways. It's hot oil, so you're not going to be able to eat it right out of the fryer anyways.
You shouldn't
So let
try.
it. Ah.
It hurts so good.
So take it around the one like the white meat. I would say take out the 145 range, and then by the time you eat it, it'll be that perfect 165, like right at that cusp of it, just a little over too, and it's perfect. So not overcooked. But the dark meat, I would say pull it out at 165 because dark meat actually gets more tender as it hits that 175 range.
And I think
So
it's important to note too. I'm always scared with poultry, and we're not the FDA, and everybody does their own thing. But I know I'm really intimidated. Like I grew up thinking poultry has to hit 165, and it should. But like you said, temperatures continue to rise. But technically, like if you look at the mathematics, when food is a certain temperature for so long, like if it's 155, it kills everything. If a temperature stays 155 for 30 seconds or something, like it kills everything. 165 is just like it's instant death. And so the
yep.
question is, are you going to eat it within 30 seconds? No, nothing's going to be alive. So like there's a lot of mathematics there, and I'm finding that technically it's safer than I once thought, and I was always scared and making really really dried meat because of it. I was getting everything up to 170.
Yep, that's the heart of sous vide. Like that's why there's a lot of sous vide recipes where you actually cook chicken at 145 degrees, but you cook it for like 3 hours or something like that. And
Mm,
it's like you said, it's the temperature and time table. Where if it's held at 145 degrees for a certain duration of time, it will kill all the bad stuff.
mhm.
But then again, I've tried that before, and it's pretty good, actually. Yeah,
It's pretty good.
yeah. I've sous vide a chicken breast at 145 for like whatever time it needs. It's been a long time, but I remember it was really good. Well, what's your favorite fried chicken? Do you have a favorite style? Like Korean, is Japanese, karage, Southern?
it, like you said, there's a time and place for everything, and it just really depends. Because if I'm having like a bowl of rice with tonkatsu sauce, I I want like that panko battered fried chicken on top, sliced very thinly like a chicken cutlet. I wouldn't want like a whole chicken fried wing on a bowl of rice, right? It just doesn't fit. But I my go-to is like a double battered, thick battered chicken strip, and it's good for dunking. You get the oil greasiness, but also like the breading flavor and the wholesome of the breading, and pretty sure it gives me heartburn these days, but it's so good. And but at the same time, like a good bucket of like KFC with the thin fried batter is delicious as well. It's just I typically go for like the really thick, fluffy battered with the crisp starch in it as well. How about you?
Yeah, the only bad fried chicken is an overcooked fried chicken. There's a,
Mm.
like there is a time and place for everything. The Korean
Or an
style, that's
undercooked one.
extra
I've had
crunch.
that. Like, wow, this is still slimy. This chicken's
Whoa.
slimy.
It says hello.
It's moving.
I just started doing like this is like my new obsession right now is Thai style fried chicken where it gets marinated in fish sauce, garlic,
Ooh.
cilantro and sugar. So it's in this wet marinade of those like really intense flavors,
Mm.
and then you just add flour into that wet batter enough until it turns into like a thick paste, and then you can
Mm.
just pick it up and deep fry it. It's amazing.
Nice and easy.
Yep, and I just love like fish sauce and cilantro, garlic. It's like, oh, love it.
I feel like a lot of Americans would be like, they instantly hear fish sauce and like, ew, gross. But I think it's pretty good. I like it.
Well, America, if you are cringing, do you use Worcestershire sauce?
That I was just thinking that too.
Ooh.
Kelsey won't touch it. She won't touch it. She's like,
Yeah, it's made with anchovies. That's
yep.
basically American fish sauce.
Mm-hmm.
So I
I love
recommend it.
it.
I mean,
I just got
all
another
it
bottle.
it just really
This-
brings this sense of umami to
Mm,
things. Yeah, if you add too much, it will be a little fishy. Yes, it's just, the key is just adding enough just to kind of boost the flavors.
yeah. Hungry now. I was gonna say
I
too. I
know.
was at H Mart and I didn't realize that they sold these, but they have like freezer bags of Korean hot dogs.
Love Korean hot dogs.
And so like I got a bag that's like half cheddar cheese, half hot dog. I got one that's like a fish
The
dog, so it's like
fish, yeah.
yeah. And
Those are more common. Like I cannot find in Pennsylvania in the Asian markets here. I cannot find a non-fish dog one, a non-fish cake one, which bums me out because it's like I just want the hot dog and the cheese.
right. And it's not to say it's bad because I was having it and I didn't realize that. And Kelsey's like, that smells like fish. I'm like, it tastes kind of fishy, but it's good. So it's just sometimes you just want the hot dog.
Did you get the potato crusted one?
I got one with potatoes. I haven't tried it yet, but I got three
That
different
one's
types
good.
and
I
one
love
with
those.
they're kind of like squares on top, right?
Yep. Yeah, every time I travel, like I go back to Seattle and stuff like that, I always try to find like a Seattle dog or not Seattle dog. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah,
The Korean
totally
hot dog because we don't have those in my area, so it's really hard to find. I remember the last time I went to Hawaii, that was like the one thing that I wanted to make sure that I got. We had to like lift to like the mall, and we just got a Korean hot dog. I did it twice on our trip. I was like, let's do it again.
Do it again. I need it.
I feel so greasy and fat afterwards, but so worth it.
Rub it on me. Yeah.
Extra sugar too. All right. Well, that's what I had on fried chicken.
Love
Anything else to
food.
add?
No, I think that's all. I just was glad to talk about the starch thing. That's been one of that and brining are like the two big things on food evolution cooking for me in the past like 5 years. Like, wow, I didn't know this existed.
Did you not brine your stuff when you like smoked?
I have, but I think I started like 3 years ago, maybe 4. And before that, I wasn't brining, because some people say like it's not really needed, it's already pre-done. And finally, I read enough stuff saying, "No, just do it." And I tried it, but yeah, I'm doing it now for like the past 3 or 4 years. But before that, I was not. Sad.
Glad you're doing it.
I've had my big green egg for like 10 years, so there's a good amount of years where I wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
It's also intimidating because trying to find space for 15-pound turkey somewhere around Thanksgiving so you can brine it. And I also feel wasteful because I have a plastic bag that I throw away right afterwards, but I don't trust using a bucket because cleaning it seems like a hassle. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a pain, but yeah, gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
It's all for the turkey. And I was going to ask too, I guess this is a spoiler for young Sheldon, but did we know that Sheldon's dad was dead? And was he overweight in the first one, in the young Sheldon?
Yes.
He
So
was over.
wait, you talking about the TV show Young Sheldon? Sorry, like
Yeah.
you mean like yeah, his dad doesn't die in season 1.
So he's alive in young Sheldon. I didn't know if he was dead between
Yes. Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
I don't think I realized he was dead. Because he is in young Sheldon. We've talked about him being in young Sheldon. Definitely not dead in young Sheldon. But was he overweight, obese to the point of needing an extra large coffin in young Sheldon, or is that kind of retro?
I think it's a retro thing.
Retro. Okay, so he wasn't
Yeah.
like man, that
No,
guy's.
he was definitely overweight, but he wasn't like he wouldn't require an oversize.
All right. So every single episode, he's eating that fried chicken.
Yeah, it gets bigger and bigger. Yeah. The actor has to keep adding more to his fat suit. Well, Leonard is being reasonable and says that she just got off a plane and that she doesn't want to cook. But insert Sheldon logic, her making him food is how she says that she loves him. And making him food when she's tired shows that she really loves him. And Mrs. Cooper suggests dining out. So Leonard suggests the sushi place. And she's never had sushi, so she's pretty excited. And this is pretty good Sheldon logic, where they say like, "Oh, well, eating something new can't hurt." He's like, "Actually, eating something new could kill you. That's why we test out drugs and everything on bunny rabbits." Well, that was kind of funny.
It's kind of
And
mean, poor bunnies, but yeah, it's kind of true. I mean, lab studies, we need it.
not not for the bunnies and everything like that. Just like his delivery of it.
Yeah.
Leonard says that he's talking like a crazy person, and we get another callback to his mother having him tested. But she does regret not following up with a specialist in Houston. And I think this is the first time we hear her validate all the times that he says it, right?
I was wondering about that because I don't recall her ever valid. He's mentioned being tested before, but
Multiple times. But this is the first time that we hear her validate what he said that she actually did do it. Well, now we get the credits. And now we're on to the next scene. We are at the sushi bar, and Mrs. Cooper is excited. She's never had sushi, and she mentions that there's a diner back at home that serves sushi, but it's just a fish stick and the side of Uncle Ben's. And just because they use those kung fu letters on the menu doesn't mean it's sushi. And then she gets called out on her not politically correct terminology. And then she was like, "Oh, I thought it was just ching chong that I couldn't say." It's like, you shouldn't say that either.
So this was my not an IQ point thing that I want to have my students look into because I didn't really know what she was talking about when she said kung fu letters. And apparently this refers to a font that is often called a chop suey or wonton font. And it's called kung fu font sometimes because if you think of a kung fu movie, how the letters go bam, 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 and how they look kind of like Chinese kanji or Japanese kanji, Chinese characters, it's their interpretation. What somebody called it a mimicry font. It's mimicking a different language within the English parameter by the shape and style of the letters. And so it is a real thing. And this is where the rabbit hole took place, whether or not the font itself is racist. And one article I looked at said, if you picture like a Chinese menu or a kung fu movie and a word comes up, Chinese restaurant comes up in your brain, what font comes to mind? And it's usually some parameter or some what's the variant of the chop suey wonton kung fu font. And this thing, people use this all the time. And I didn't even like really realize or think about this. I guess how often do we think about fonts? But it's been around since, I didn't even write this down because it's not a full IQ point, since like the 1800s, late 1800s, and people have used it for all sorts of reasons. Definitely racist reasons. Propaganda during World War II. Putting it above Japanese caricatures, saying we hate America or something like that, to impersonate or belittle them. But also, like, on the counter side, since people know to think Asian food when they see it, Asian restaurants have used it for decades, maybe even a century, to show this is a Chinese restaurant or this is an Asian restaurant, and you can expect that type of food here. And if they had used regular font, it wouldn't have advertised exactly like they wanted to, and they wouldn't get customers. So some people are like, it's not offensive, and we want customers in, so we'll use it. But there's been a huge argument whether or not it's problematic. It often does come with more problematic content. Like I said, the World War II propaganda with caricatures, offensive caricatures of Japanese people. But at the same time, helping restaurants. I was reading about how there's a video game called Cyberpunk 2077, I believe, and they apparently use the font, but the game apparently has a whole lot of other racial issues that have been debated. So this is really on the small end, but it's one that came up, whether or not should this be considered racist? Is it racist? Is it not? But it's something that I didn't realize was, since like the 1800s, and something that has become ingrained in American culture and signifies like this is something foreign. This is something I know I'm getting Chinese food if I go to this restaurant because of the font. And so all this stuff, I'm like, wow, this is a rabbit hole, and I don't have the answers. Nobody really does, but I thought it was amazing. And when she said Kung Fu font, I was surprised to even realize that she was speaking to something real.
Yeah, there's tons of fonts and everything like that, and I've been victim of kind of stuff like that too. For any, I guess, everyone out there, you can't even see me on YouTube anymore, but I am an Asian American, and there are moments where I actually do have to make signs and everything for an event that we're hosting that is like for Lunar New Year or AAPI month and stuff like that. There are times where I actually did have to look up, like I didn't type Kung Fu font. I definitely didn't do that. But I just did Asian style fonts and everything like that. And it's kind of like you said, like I grew up with that association too, like going through like the Seattle Chinatown and everything like that. I always just saw that font on menus and things like that. So it's kind of like I just never really thought about it.
It took me over another rabbit hole, totally different rabbit hole of, what was it? I think it was called the Chinese riff, but musical patterns that we associate with cultures in a kind of a racist way. And I'm like, I didn't even realize we did this, but like the song, the do 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 do. And then there's one for like Arabic, for India, and all sorts of ones. I'm like, this is stuff that's just like built into brains, and we don't even think about it. So it's like, yeah, I can see why, like, you're just looking up the font like, oh, this is something we associate with it, so why think further about it? But I think it's fascinating. I don't, I have to say too that in my emails, at least even my professional emails at school, I use Comic Sans font. So this tells you what
because you're a professional.
I'm an English professional. I read somewhere, and I'm practicing with it, but Comic Sans apparently is more readable for people with dyslexia and reading disabilities because of the way that the characters are spaced and organized and lopsided a little bit. And I'm sure people look at me and they're like, he's writing like a fucking cartoon character. I'm like, I'm doing this for readability. And I don't know if it's accurate, but I like it, and it makes me a little bit more unique because I'm a professional.
I think I really like Garamond.
Garamond.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Even though Parks and Rec shits on it.
So Times New Roman I have to use for class because it's MLA, like says Times New Roman, and it's one that most publishers ask for. But I'm like, this is really not that great of a font. I don't know why it
it's
times
not. I don't really like Times New Roman. And it's funny because like without even thinking about it, like I feel like that used to be the standard for Microsoft, but now it's like not the standard anymore. Like they do like what? Arial?
I think
Not even
so.
that. Yeah. Is that the standard now?
And then I know Mac was, I don't know if it still is, but Helvetica for a while, and I've liked Helvetica a lot more than Times New Roman.
Yeah.
But I think Arial might be coming up over Times New Roman.
Yeah. Ooh, I really like Century Gothic.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
I like that one because it's kind of a little bit more bold and a little bit denser, and makes it easier for me with my waning eyesight.
It's funny that we have such strong opinions on fonts.
Right? Have you ever seen The Middle? I think I've mentioned it before.
No, I've never seen that, but you have mentioned it.
Their youngest kid is named Brick, and he's got some issues, but one of his obsessions is fonts, and so he'll bring home magazines and be like, "Can you believe they use this font? Wow!" and like goes to his bedroom.
That's funny. It really does make a difference though, and I'm sure like marketing people and like not interior designers, just like IT designers like live and breathe this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really makes a difference. Like as you're looking at things, like the readability of it and everything like that, and like the size, and like honestly just changing fonts within the article and stuff like that really does make an impact, and it really does like make things a little nicer. It's kind of like when they do I love it when they do this in movies where the subtitles will pop up and everything like that, and when they want to emphasize a word, they'll change the font.
Mm-hmm.
So I love it when they pay attention to stuff like that.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit more interactive, and we're lucky enough to hear, but I can imagine that if we were deaf, that would be major, right? To understand that they're emphasizing a word, or that something is being said in a different way, that so it's sarcastic or something. Wow, it makes a difference.
All right, and well, to change the subject, just like them in the show, they ask about Sheldon and Amy. So she also Mrs. Cooper also asks about Leonard and his love life. And he mentions that it's been hard because she's all the way in India and her parents aren't thrilled that he is white. And then she just laughs at the whole like reverse racism that is funny to think about. Like, oh, you don't really think about that over here, which is kind of true. It's like,
true.
Oh yeah, well look at that.
So I'm reading a lot about Japan right now, right? Where they're having an extreme like anti-immigration. I'm like, I never thought about like
Oh, they have that in Japan now too?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's really kicking in. And I've heard different things, but it's something to do with they started a project to have like sister cities in Africa or something, and it was kind of misinterpreted as we are pulling people out of Africa to bring here. That was my understanding. I only read a little bit about it, but I'm getting a lot of things on marches saying we don't want immigration here. So kind of sad. But again, in America, I don't feel like we think about that because we're so isolated to the rest. For better or worse, it happens, right? We're not really listening to what's going on in the rest of the world like that.
It's very sad. Yeah,
Very sad.
We're all about ourselves.
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I can't speak for all Americans, but
Well, I am speaking for all Americans. No, I'm
God
not.
damn it.
Well, to change the subject again, Sheldon brings up fried chicken, and his mom threatens to spank him right there if he mentions it one more time. So now we cut to the stairwell,
I was
and
going
a
to ask about
letter.
that. Do you think Leonard wanted to see it just because he wanted Sheldon punished, or like it seemed kind of sexual to me? Like, I want to see that.
Oh no,
I was
I
like,
do
what?
not. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Just me.
Not everything's about sex, Ryan. He just wants to see Sheldon be spanked.
Spank me,
There's
mommy.
nothing There's
What
nothing
the?
sexual about that. Making me pour another drink.
I'm gonna grab another beer really quickly while you
Okay.
do.
All right. Well, now we're on the stairwell, and Leonard asks how she liked the sushi. And Mrs. Cooper is a true Texan. She says that it would have been better if it was cooked and if it was beef. So I thought it was kind of funny. It's like, oh
But
yeah, that would make it better.
but she didn't hate it though, so she still ate it, and I'm proud of
Yep.
that. Like, she's open minded, so
Yep.
she has her taste, and that's totally fair.
Well, Raj is waiting outside the apartment, and he's already 3 beers deep. And I just love this. Mrs. Cooper's like, "Oh, it's so nice to see you. I thought it was our Indians that had the occasional alcohol problem. Ugh, so problematic, but so kind of funny at the same time. I'm
Also,
sorry."
like Raj saying, like, I came here and you weren't here, so I bought 6 new friends. 3 of them
3
are
are
dead.
sadly dead.
I bought new friends.
Well, Leonard calls her out on that and says, "I'll make you a list." And she just says, "Oh, that would be mighty white of you."
Mighty white.
And then she's just so maternal. She looks to Raj and asks, "Why are you trying to cover your pain with alcohol?" And then he breaks down crying. And while he's crying, Sheldon is pushing for a pecan pie. And she tells him to get Raj a hot beverage. Get him a hot beverage. And what do we get him when they're drunk as a skunk? Coffee. And what do you get it with? A smile.
I love that because we've seen him several times over the past like season or two say like I have like it calls her friends in need.
Protocol dictates that I get you a hot beverage.
Now we know with a smile.
Yep. Which he never gets a drink with a smile. While Mrs. Cooper is comforting Raj, Sheldon is loathing that he is just not getting his pecan pie. So Leonard offers him Oreos, but it's not double stuffed. They're just regular. So sad. Well, now we're in the laundry room, and they're doing laundry, and Penny arrives. We learn that Sheldon has a weekly email blast. He's like, "You didn't get my email blast? It's beet season." So I did a short IQ point on this because I am calling out Sheldon because this aired. When did this air again?
October
Yes,
20th?
October, which is the end of beet season.
I
So
looked
no,
into this
it's not beet
too.
season.
I was going to say really quickly, I have a point for being not like Sheldon for twofold. Partially, the first part is that I don't use fabric softener. I've never used it. My family's never. We use dryer sheets, but I don't feel like those are exactly the same thing as like Downy. And there's 2 things about it. One,
I feel like that helps more for like the static.
yeah,
though.
that's what I've always used it for, the static. But some people have said, "Oh, it's a fabric softener." I don't think it is as much as like putting Downy in, and I've never used it. And when I've tried it before, like it's added too much scent that has given me headaches and stuff. So I'm like, it's not worth it. But I'm gonna say a bigger thing here is just his whole relationship with his mom. I am not. I'm not that. I want to say parasitic. What's a good word for his relationship with his mama? Codependent. Dependent on my mom. And like even like I don't want to ruin the end, but when I'm feeling unwell, like I kind of don't like people taking care of me. Like I'm kind of like a dog where I just like curl up in a box and die on my own. Like that's what I'm done, right? And people are like, no, we have to take care of you. I'm like, get away. Yeah, I would say the fabric softener is just kind of the precursor to say that he's having his mom do his wash. He's wanting softener that represents her, and that I'm yeah, 1 point not like him because I'm kind of detached like that.
He's trying to recreate their old relationship.
Yeah. And
Which they'll mention a little later on, that like now that he's a full-on grown-up. He's like, at this point he's like supposed to be like what, 30, late 20s, 30 at this point.
I'd say 30, I thought.
They need to create a new relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Well, back to beets. It's not beet
Beets.
season. Beet season is actually, peak season is June and it ends in October. So I don't know why he's sending an email blast in October that is beet season. So that's it.
That's it. I got, from what I was seeing, beets are kind of a year-round thing, but like you said, peak season seems to be midsummer to fall. So it could be October, the beginning of October, or maybe if he sent out the email a couple weeks ago, it could be the very, very end of beet season, but it's definitely the end of it. And just adding the IQ point, I watched a video from the Living Farm on YouTube, and they said that beets can really be harvested at any size. The big thing is they need to be harvested before the first hard frost. And so you're trying to get them as big as possible before you harvest them and before that frost, because the frost is going to ruin them. I don't know how it ruins them, but it ruins them. And anything below 25 degrees Fahrenheit can damage them and cause problems. So technically, you're trying to get them up to that first frost before it hits and then get them out of the ground. Although some people will use mulch, extra mulch, or a frost blanket to help insulate them so that they don't get hit by the frost. But you're still kind of gambling that you don't want them to freeze like that. What else? Yeah, you can basically harvest them year round as long as you don't let the frost damage hit them. So in different parts of the country, you might not even have as big of issues with it. They said that when you harvest them, the leaves are edible, but they usually get trimmed. They were trimming them to pull them out, pull the beets out. And they said to store them, rinse the dirt off before storing, because the dirt can like dry them out and shrivel them up and kind of ruin them. So you rinse them off, you air dry them, and then she said on this YouTube that she stores them in sawdust in her root cellar. And I don't know how many people have root cellars, and I definitely don't have sawdust on hand. So she said that you could use a plastic bag in your fridge as well. And usually with these two methods, they keep for about 3 months, or they can be processed for freezing or canning as well. But 3 months in sawdust or 3 months in a plastic bag in the fridge, and you're good to go. So technically year round, but it's really that getting them up to the frost and then like pulling them out up full size before they freeze.
Do you eat a lot of beets?
I don't, but I have to say, because his next thing was about the article about colon cancer scares. I got a thing from Hagen's of I got it because it had ginger in it, but it was like beet ginger juice. And I tell you, that red dye goes right through you, and it's like, whoa, god damn.
I love the flavor. Like when I was actually juicing a lot, I loved adding beets into it. Just that beet flavor is so good, but you're right, it goes right through you. You will
It
think that you're dying.
does have a really good earthy taste. I love them in salads. I could eat them raw. I think they're terrific. But yeah, it's like, oh god, I'm gonna bleed to death. No.
All right. Well, Mrs. Cooper asks how Penny is doing with the whole Leonard thing and gives her some sage advice on dating and letting the boys ride the road and letting the boys ride the roller coaster a little too early. Then Penny asks if she could take a look at her outfit. Mrs. Cooper says, "Oh, yeah, that's not crazy at all, and don't beat yourself up. When I was your age, you could have me for a car ride and a bottle of strawberry wine." Sheldon's eyes is like, "Oh God."
That's isn't there a song "Strawberry Wine" by Dina Carter? You know that one?
I don't know.
Uh, it just threw me back. I'm gonna make sure it's called that if I'm not. But it's yep, Strawberry Wine, Dina Carter, and it's that's basically the song. Is that she has a bottle of strawberry wine and she loses her virginity and she remembers it her whole life. It's the first taste of love. It's bittersweet, blah blah. But I know my girlfriends since I was in like high school have always been shocked that I know that song. They're like, "That's a girl song." I'm like, "It's a good song," but like,
Good
so
song's a good song. What does it
yeah,
matter?
check it out. Because yeah, apparently Strawberry Wine's a popular seductive what are they called,
Maybe I'll have to get some strawberry
aphrodisiac.
wine. Yeah. All right. Well, now we cut to the apartment, and Howard is telling Mrs. Cooper about his trip to space. So a lot is happening with Howard. He's actually having a pretty big year, which we mentioned before. He's going to space, getting married. Things are looking Howard. She's very impressed by him, and then she tries to convert him into Christianity, her little hints and everything. But he doesn't need the Bible. He just watches the Charlie Brown Christmas episode every year, which I actually just got that book for my kid. It's nice.
We've been talking about what's the fascination about Peanuts. Like I think 90% of Peanuts is the Christmas episode, and I don't understand. Like I don't think it's a bad Christmas episode. I just don't understand the popularity.
Yeah, it it's kind of the same thing with like the Great Pumpkin Patch one.
Yeah,
It's kind of crazy that it's meant for children, but there's just so much adult symbolism in them.
and it's something it
That,
feels kind of nostalgic, I guess, and down to earth. But it's like when I look at the animation and like the stories, I'm like, this isn't anything like super amazing or anything, but it's still like compelling. And it seems like everywhere I go, there's like Peanuts Christmas. I was at Hallmark and saw all these peanut ornaments. I'm like, what is the fascination?
what does Peanuts own Hallmark? I swear to God, they're just like plagued with Peanut stuff.
Right? I don't get it.
Charlie
Like,
Brown is the CEO of Hallmark.
actually, he's the CEO of Amazon that owns Hallmark, and it's the global overlords. There we go.
Yeah.
It's all Charlie Brown.
They're the Illuminati. Charlie Brown and Snoopy and Linus. Well, we find out that Howard's mom is not particularly proud of his accomplishments and has threatened to go on a hunger strike if he doesn't back down. But it'll be years before she's in any real danger, so we're all good. Sheldon has plans to take his mom to see Saul Perlmutter to give a lecture about his Nobel Prize winning work in cosmology. And the best part is at the Q&A afterwards, he has a couple of cues that's going to stump his sorry A. So that was kind of funny. Like just his arrogance. Like, Mom, you're gonna be so proud of me.
I'm gonna
Come
make
see,
fun
come
of
see,
this
come
guy.
see. Yeah. But Mrs. Cooper wants to go sightseeing. So the group brainstorms and comes up with the Hollywood sign, the Wax Museum, Walk of Fame, Rodeo Drive, and then she gets excited about judging those that purchase luxury items. That was kind of funny.
It was like I can't afford them, but I can judge.
Yep.
Judging is free.
And Sheldon is not happy. Then we cut to the kitchen, and she made pancakes with bacon grease and says that she cooks everything in it, and she is not worried about her health at all. 1 week bacon grease is bad for you, the next we're not getting enough of it. And I kind of remember when this happened, when there was that bacon craze in like the 2010s. It was around now. It was that
Yeah.
bacon craze where everything was bacon. Add bacon to this. Use bacon grease to make your eggs, bacon grease to like put on your Brussels sprouts and everything like that. It was like
It's like
just kind of everywhere at this
kind of
point.
the paleo move, like, oh, it's like wholesome, it's cave people food, and you can use it for everything, and
Yeah. Except
it's
cave
good.
people were not making their own bacon. So
That's fair.
they might have had the pork belly, but not the... Somehow I doubt they were curing and slicing it.
Or were they?
Oh. There's a cave painting of bacon, of a strip of bacon.
It's just one bacon.
Well, Sheldon comes out to apologize for his behavior and thinks he'll get his way after apologizing. But Mrs. Cooper stands strong and says that she's going out sightseeing with his friends. And Sheldon is mad and thinks his mom is abandoning him. So now we cut over to Amy's apartment, and he ended up going to the Saul Perlmutter lecture, and he ended up getting sick. And Amy is there, and she's like, "Hey, is it possible that your foul mood, or the clinical term bitchiness, is because your mom isn't making you a priority?" Amy then reduces his behavior down to our animal instincts, that it's all about the monkeys, monkeys, monkeys. And Amy claps back at him and says, "Sheldon, we're all animals, and granted there are aspects of you that are extraordinary, but when it comes to emotions and relationships, you're just like everybody else." And then he says, "Are you trying to suggest that my emotional problems are no different than those of a stupid person?" And then she says that some research indicates that by not overthinking, the less intelligent handle emotions better. And I kind of did an IQ point, but kind of not on this one because I really didn't find enough evidence to kind of support everything. But
I
I'm sorry.
Oh, I did some research too. So I think if we put our stuff together, we can get an IQ point out of it. But like you
Well, I
said, there's
hope so.
not a solid ground on this. It's kind of psychological.
But pretty much the overall question is, are smarter people less emotionally intelligent? And vice versa. Do you want to go first?
Sure, why not? What did I get here? So I have it. It's more complicated, but maybe. And it seems to be, from what I'm finding, I'm going to go through some stuff, that overthinking problems can be worse, can be, but it's really, the notion is that info out there and research out there suggests there's a difference between emotional intelligence and what's called cognitive intelligence or regular intelligence. So what we think of IQ intelligence does not correlate with emotional intelligence. And the way I'm looking at this is, just because somebody is really good at math doesn't make them great at playing the piano. Music is all about math, or maybe playing pool. When I was a kid, everybody's like, pool's just geometry, but just because you're great at math doesn't mean you're going to be great at pool or playing the piano. Like, it's a different skill set to some extent, and you have to practice it. And that's the same, that you might know all about psychology. It doesn't mean that you're great at employing emotionally intelligent skills and characteristics into your livelihood. And so that's kind of what I was getting, but I had from Travis Bradbury at Talent Smart EQ. He references data suggesting that people with average IQs outperform those with high IQs, cognitive intelligence, in emotional settings. So apparently there was some research. I couldn't backtrack. The links were all broken, but there were some links there from that article suggesting that people with average IQs were able to deal with emotional issues. And I found a couple of sources on why that might be, not because people with IQs are dumb or something like that, but Janice Vilhauer, on the article "The Paradox of Intelligence: Why Smart People Struggle in Therapy," had a few thoughts. She suggested people with high IQs are not necessarily equipped to deal with therapy. So basically, they don't know how to handle emotions. They may know all about emotions. They might know the science behind emotions, but that doesn't mean that they can sit down and process their own emotions. It could be an issue or an obstacle with perfectionism and demanding high results despite a fuller picture of emotional issues. So it could be in themselves, but also like in the workplace. A lot of this talked about successful leaders are emotionally intelligent. Just because you know how to get outputs and people to perform and do a lot of work doesn't mean that you are thinking of their mental health and how they're going to burn out or how they'll respond emotionally. And so you might fail completely because you didn't think about your workers. You push them too much, basically, thinking about an end goal. And so, high IQ might be how do I achieve this goal, but you're not thinking of the intellectual or maybe psychological, emotional, human aspect of problems. Emotions don't always align with structured problem solving, which high IQs tend to connect with. So basically, again, high IQs tend to say, how do I get from point A to point B and solve this problem? And emotions they're not rational, they're not logical. You have to think outside the box, and high IQs don't always know how to handle that. Sheldon sure doesn't. Could struggle with creating supportive environment. Basically, if emotions are an issue, people with high IQs, high cognitive intelligence, don't necessarily have the intuitiveness to handle and fix them effectively. So basically, part of emotions and being emotionally intelligent is being intuitive and understanding what you're feeling yourself, understanding and picking up what other people are feeling and dealing with those in a logical way, not just understanding how to deal with them, but picking up on the emotions themselves. Candace Kelly from medium.com says all decisions are made with emotion because we are humans. Even the most mechanical scientific decision we make is going to be emotion based, at least partially. And even the most like dignified person has emotions and will make emotions in some point in time illogical based on their emotions. And Candace Kelly also says emotions are a type of data and that they need to be learned how to process like any other data. So when you're trying to get to point A to point B and you're thinking of how many pages of writing can I type per minute, uh, you also have to take in other data sets like, am I sick? Am I depressed? Because that's going to impact how much writing you can get done per minute for how long. So basically, yeah, just because you're cognitively intelligent doesn't mean that the emotions are there for this to work long term. And it's, again, a factor that needs to be factored in that doesn't always get factored in. Cognitive intelligence doesn't mean knowing how to process them. I've mentioned that a little bit already. But basically, it takes practice understanding what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, and healthy ways to output it. I think you're a parent. I'm going to be a parent soon. But knowing, I've heard that when telling kids not to do something, you don't just simply say no. You give them options saying, okay, staying up all night and partying and drinking booze all night is not an option, but you can either curl up in this bed or you can read a book for 10 minutes and go to bed. Give them some options, and that way they have an emotional outlet. Apparently, I guess I'll find that out. You can speak differently if it's fake, but that's
Do you
what
want
I've
me to
heard.
add this? Are you telling everybody you're a dad now? You're about
Oh,
to be a dad?
yeah, we can say that.
At
Why
this
not?
point, we've never talked about it, but
We haven't. Shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
we've been cutting it all out. But yeah, congratulate everyone! Congratulate Ryan.
Thank you. I thought I had mentioned it. I forget who I mentioned it to, but
We've
yeah.
talked about it on the podcast before, but you asked me to cut it all out.
That's fair. I think it's safe now. It's gonna happen one way or another. So
I think this air date is your due date.
holy shit.
January 11th, right?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So if everything goes as expected, I will be. Well, I'll be watching somebody push a baby. I'm not going to be pushing the baby out, but as we talk. So
Wait,
ugh.
they didn't teach you to press down on her stomach and the baby just flies out?
I thought it was like a Heimlich, a reverse under Heimlich. Heave ho!
Well, when you send in that fried chicken code, don't forget to congratulate Ryan.
Thank you. Oh man, fried chicken. So last thing I have is that this article suggests that you might not be an expert at emotional intelligence, but slowing down and trying to process your emotions and how they can impact you negatively is a great start in understanding emotions and behaving and acting intelligently based on your emotions. And so, yeah, I think that it makes sense that people who are highly intelligent, cognitive intelligence, might be overthinking, but also focus on an end goal and not necessarily the path you take to get there and the different parameters. And Sheldon, in this case, is definitely not thinking about why he's feeling this way, why he wants what he wants, why people are behaving. All he's seeing is, I want my mom to treat me like this. And maybe people with less average intelligence, less intelligence, they're more intuitive to know, you know what, it's not all about what I want. It's not about I get what I want or how I get what I want. It's just accepting and dealing with the consequences. So that was my findings. What did you get?
So I kind of looked at something a little differently. I was kind of looking at like the correlation of like people with higher IQs and if they are more likely to have less emotional IQ and vice versa. So if you're overly smart, if you have a high IQ, do you not know how to act emotionally or how to read people essentially?
Mhm.
That's kind of like how I interpreted
Empathy,
what
sympathy
Amy was
factor.
going. Yeah, I was that's kind of what I thought Amy was getting at. So this was, I considered a failed IQ point just because there really isn't enough data to kind of support this statement, because everybody knows somebody in their group or somebody at work that is very apparently intelligent. They must have done had gotten a really great SAT score, ACT score, whatever, and everything like that. They're very high IQ, but they don't know how to act in front of other people. So that means that they have a very low EQ, or the emotional IQ. Oh, it's the emotional equivalent of the IQ and everything, which we already talked about. But, and I've met several people like that too, that are just too smart for their own good, that they just don't even know how to act in front of other people. But there, like I said, there really, in my findings, there really wasn't enough evidence to really support this, because there really hasn't been a lot of research conducted around this. Because at the same time, we all know somebody that is like very intelligent, very smart, but they're also know how to talk to you as like a normal person. They're the people that we call the whole package, you know, meaning Ryan and Rob,
Yeah.
obviously.
Everybody involved with this podcast and all our fans.
Obviously. But in this research that science has conducted, this is actually called the high IQ, low EQ paradox. What else did I find on this one?
I was going to add to this that it gets more complicated because, think of people with Asperger's, with autism, they have difficulties understanding body language, but that doesn't mean that they're not unsympathetic or unempathetic. Like they can still pick up emotions and still be really in tune with emotions, but they don't understand like people expressing like in different ways. Like they just know somebody's angry, or they don't know that their body language is saying that they're angry. Like they just pick up like frustration, and then like that's part of like not being able to communicate. They know something's wrong and they like don't know what to do about it. They don't know how to express it themselves. And so it's like they may understand or acknowledge the emotion. Whereas Sheldon, on the other hand, I feel like he continues to deny he has emotion at all, which we know that from the episode with the cats, that he has like breakdowns because he has no idea how to handle his emotions, right? He thinks he's he doesn't even think he's in a relationship, but when he breaks up, he buys a ton of cats because he's breaking down. So it gets really complicated.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much what I had. And a lot of like where science kind of stops with this and doesn't really have a lot of research is because EQ isn't very measurable. IQ, you could just take a test and you know your score. EQ, there is no real test. It's kind of like what you were saying. Like there's such a large spectrum of emotional intelligence
Mm-hmm.
that you can't really measure it.
But again, if you're listening to this, we're all high EQers. We're the whole packages. All
Yep.
of it.
Bob and Ryan are
I've
the
measured it.
whole package. Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
So I'm not sure if we even had enough information to call this an IQ point, but we talked about it enough where I guess we can.
I'm going to say yes. It's a high
I
IQ point. Let's call it an EQ point.
Oh. One other thing to measure. All right. Well, now we cut to a church. They're all wandering around a church, and Mrs. Cooper insults Catholics by calling them rosary rattlers. So it's not just a race thing. No one's safe around her.
I've never heard that before.
Well, she gets called out again by Leonard, and she's just kind of fed up with it. It's like, my goodness, it's a wonder that you California people can talk at all. And Raj, pointing at a crucifixion statue, is kind of admiring Jesus. He's like, man, none of our gods have abs like him. And Howard says, yep, the last Jew who did sit-ups. Look where it got him. But I was kind of like, Raj, the Indian gods are majestic beings. Of course they have abs.
Some of them do.
Right?
Because...
Or do they?
Ooh.
Insert IQ points. Are the Indian gods as majestic as we think they are?
I'm curious because I would say I didn't even look this up, but my thought was majestic and sexuality is different for everybody because like some people really like the dad bod, some people like the abs, and I have thought from what we've done with Raj, I would have said that some of them probably do have abs and they all are pretty sexually attractive. Like none of them are like horribly looking. Even the monsters look kind of like, yeah, they're not bad. So,
yeah, I can watch a porno of this.
Yeah, I'm not going to throw that out for eating crackers in my bed.
Well, at first, when I heard Raj say this, I was kind of like, come on, Hindu gods must look amazing, full of muscles and abs everywhere. But he's right. I just searched around for some images and depictions of the Hindu gods, and for the most part, they all have very modest bodies. So, some drawn art will depict them totally jacked, but these images look more like fan art. So, I was looking more at the statues of temples and everything like that. And they're not jacked. They're actually very modest looking. Not like dad bod, but like, just like a normal body. Somewhere in between.
Bag of Cheetos and a kid in one arm. I'm a dad now.
Shiva the Destroyer mowing down some flaming hot Cheetos. But yeah, so Raj is kind of right on this. I was like, oh shit.
I never thought about it, but I'm just thinking back to, but again, they're not unattractive. It's just they're not jacked. And Jesus is a little emaciated jacked.
Yeah. Well, Mrs. Cooper wants the group to pray. She wants to put some church in this church. And she thanks the Lord for Sheldon and the continued strength to not cold cock him with her Bible. That's just so funny how like she's just being real. Like, God, you could read my mind. You know what I'm thinking every time I talk to Sheldon.
Thank you for giving me the strength.
Penny prays for her brother to stop cooking meth. No cops. Be cool.
I love the cops though.
Leonard asks for help with Priya. Howard skips his turn, afraid that he'll burst into flames.
I get 1 point for being like that. That is my basic response when I go into church these days.
That you're going to burst into flames, you heathen.
Yeah, just trying not to burst into flames in church like Howard. Not because I'm Jewish, just because I'm not religious, and I feel like a lot of me being there is just kind of like sacrilege, like I'm impersonating this religion or something. It just isn't good. I don't know.
Well, Raj says he's having trouble dropping those last 5 pounds. And I just love Mrs. Cooper. It's like, oh, I would have gone with the talking to girls thing. He tries to do a little takesy backsies, but nope. Sorry, you only get one wish.
You
That's how it
only
works.
get one wish. I love Howard's rendition of that. Only one wish. It's really funny because we were out. I was telling Rob that we were out at a Christmas tree lighting last night, and that we were walking by a guy and a boy who's probably in his like late teens, probably like 16, 17. And I don't know who they were, what they were talking about, but it was definitely about religion. And the older guy goes, well, we can pray about other stuff too. Do you want to get married? And the kid's like, yeah, of course I do. And he goes, let's pray on that. And they start praying, Lord, let him have the power to get, I don't know what the prayer was. I'm like, wow, I could have wished for that like my whole life, a good marriage. Like, I guess so, but
I've been doing this
I'm
wrong all
doing
along.
it wrong. Kelsey and I kind of looked at each other like, huh, all right.
All right. Well, now we're on a park bench, and Sheldon is sitting, and a stranger sits next to him. And I tried to look up this person, but I guess because he didn't have a speaking role, he wasn't credited. So
Yeah, I did too.
but he was meant to resemble Saul Perlmutter, the person that he went to go see. That was actually written on purpose, but I guess it's kind of a deeper cut to actually get that.
I was wondering that, and that's partially why I looked it up, if whether or not he was the person he went to see. But I didn't do, after I saw that he wasn't credited, I'm like, I'm not going to get into this. But I figured that might be the case, that he's supposed to represent that counterbalance, right?
Yeah. The common man.
The common man.
Well, Sheldon is insulting, calling him the common man and himself extraordinary. And then it starts raining, and the man has an umbrella. So who's smarter now? So now we're in the kitchen of the apartment, and Penny says, "Oh man, everything smells so good." And she gives her really good advice. You take notes, darling. The real way to get a man is with melted cheese and cream of mushroom soup. He'll die at 50, but his love will be true. And I think that's true. Yep. It's very true what they say. The key to a man's heart is through his stomach.
It does a lot. It does a lot.
I think it's like that for everybody. Everybody just wants a good meal at the end of the day with someone that they love. Well, Sheldon comes in and he is soaked and sick. His mom flies in to take care of him, and he wants to have some tea with honey and toast with the crust cut off. And he gets whatever he wants. So Sheldon is getting what he wanted the whole time for his mom to take care of him.
Aww.
And I noticed he really likes bready things when he's sick. Because the last time he got sick, when Leonard fled and went to the movie theater, he wanted grilled cheese. So, just something I noticed.
Some carbs.
So now yep. So now we're in Sheldon's room, and she's really babying, rubbing Vapor Rub on his chest, which I was actually just telling Ryan about this offline. I just found a new appreciation for Vapor Rub.
I was going to say, why were we just talking about that? It didn't have to do with the show at all, did it?
I'm sure everybody still listening can notice how nasally I am. I'm a little nasalier than normal, and I caught a cold, so I'm powering through it though. But Vapor Rub has been like my best friend.
I was telling Rob that from like murder documentaries and mysteries that I've read and seen, that when dealing with dead bodies, a good tip is to put Vapor Rub right under your nose, because it completely like just blocks out anything else you could possibly smell for the next 24 hours. And so you clean up the dead body and you don't notice the horrible stench so much. And why I use this is because when I have to clean up my cat boxes, the smell really gets to me. But if I put a dab of Vicks underneath my nose, I'm cleaning those boxes like nobody's business. So it's good tip.
Good save on that tip. Otherwise, you're giving the serial killers a little advice.
I was gonna say, everybody's gonna be like, Ryan's taking care of dead bodies. Why the fuck is he doing that? No.
It's cat litter. It's cat
litter.
litter.
Ryan, there's a hand in that cat litter. No.
I don't think so. You better check yourself.
Just gonna bury that really quickly. I scoot in it.
Well, Sheldon really wants to keep his relationship with his mother the exact same. But Mrs. Cooper is pushing for updating their relationship as he is a grown man now. And then Sheldon, just being the child that he is, the child dreamer that he is, he says, maybe I'm part of a new species that lives for 100 years, which means I'm still basically a toddler. And then she just kind of rolls her eyes and is like, oh, I should have taken you to Houston.
Should have taken you to Houston.
So, warning for everyone, here's your PSA. Just take your kid to the specialist.
You'll regret it.
And then she sings him Soft Kitty because she's got a soft spot for him. And then Leonard comes in and interrupts. He's rude and he's like, yeah, whatever. Sing the song. and start from the beginning.
Start from the beginning.
And that's the episode. So now we have the vanity card, which is a little longer. So yeah.
I find it's weird that when I'm watching it online, the vanity card will be the same, but I'll look it up and I try to copy and paste it into my document so I can read it in my notes. It doesn't keep they don't always have the same formatting. Like what I read when I'm watching it on like HBO or on Fandango, doesn't always have the same setup. And if you're ever watching, like we can't really show you, but always question that, because when I look at like a Tumblr or what's the other one? There's a website just for these vanity cards. They're not structured the same.
Oh,
they're like broken up more. Usually online, when I'm watching it from the actual show, they have more formatting, and then like in this one, it's just a lump paragraph.
Oh, yeah,
weird.
Yeah. Well, this is Chuck Lorre Productions number 361, Miscellaneous Showbiz Tips. Never forget that taking a bow and ducking are essentially the same thing. The reason you suffer is because you think your identity and worth as a human being are inextricably tied into your career. Don't think that. Success has many parents, and even more lawyers. They're paying you a lot because they're killing you. Don't grow too attached to your agent. Like a beloved spouse, they come and go. If you want fair, go to Pomona September 8th through the 26th. Wear comfy shoes. It's not true that if you believe the good reviews, you must also believe the bad ones. The bad ones could have been written by mean, stupid people who hate your success. Act like your job is the most important thing in the world, but never forget that it's ultimately meaningless. All we are is dust in the wind. Yada, yada, yada. The end. All right, let's count up some points.
First, I want to say, I think the highlight of this episode for me is seeing the roots of Sheldon getting hot beverages and her saying, what do we do? Get them a hot beverage. And what if they're drunk? Hot coffee. And what do we do it with? A smile. It was just epic. I love that scene. Yeah.
I love that one too.
And what do we do it with? A smile.
Should make a note of that for our recap.
I got 2 points this round, and I think I was off by 1 point last time. I don't think I counted a point because I thought I was ahead with Sheldon, but I am 2 points ahead of not Sheldon now. 138 points, not Sheldon. 136, Sheldon.
And we had 4 IQ points.
That's nice.
Not too bad.
That's a good chicken one. That's good advice for making fried chicken. And I tell you what, learning about starch was changed my life.
Game changing. Yeah,
Yeah.
very game changing. All right. Well, don't forget to email us that code, enter our raffle. You got a little bit of time. You'll also have opportunities next episode and the one after that. And don't forget to just email us in general. Just shoot us
Say
a
hi.
question, shoot us a comment, say hi, talk about how perfect and how much we're the whole
The
package.
whole package. Tell us how you're the whole package. That's what we want to hear.
I'd love to know about that. Email us at theoreticalnonsensepod@gmail.com. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and we'll give you a shout out. And we will see you next time on Season 5, Episode 7, The Good Guy Fluctuation. Thanks for listening. This was Theoretical Nonsense, the Big Bang Theory watch-along podcast. No PhD required. Our intro and outro music is by Alex Grohl. Thanks for listening.
It seemed kind of sexual to me. Like, I want to see that.